Can I use the bathroom?
Go ahead. I don't have a pass, so be careful out there.
I bet.
Mr. Culkin's clear status.
Yep, I'm on the 3rd floor now. Second floor looks clear.
Hey, kid.
Stop right there.
Rogue student first floor. Welcome to the transcript.
A 32-year-old homeless man was arraigned on a murder charge last Thursday in the Northampton District Court in connection to the fatal shooting of a Northampton resident the night before. This shooting marks the first shooting in Hampshire County in 2021. In other news, the Biden administration will not send U.S. representatives to the 2022 Beijing Winter Olympics in response to the Chinese government's ongoing genocide and crimes against humanity. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki said Monday that the athletes on Team USA have our full support. We will be behind them 100% and we cheer for them from home. I'm Shiloh Hammerland and thank you for watching.
Welcome to Hampton.
Y'all ready for this?
This week we looked into ballet, a style of dance originating in France. Ballet is typically taught from a young age and is known for its discipline and rigor. There are several studios for pre-professional ballet dancers around the area, including Pioneer Valley Ballet and Ascendance Dance. We joined some of Pioneer Valley Ballet's most experienced dancers from NHS through their experience with Theater Week for the Nutcracker, a show annually put on for the enjoyment of Northampton and surrounding areas.
I'd say it's definitely a struggle to balance school and dance just because the amount of hours we're dancing every day or every week. But I think it's a valuable skill for like the rest of our lives.
Yeah, so school, how I balance school is I have to leave fourth period earlier because to get to ballet and do all of that, it's just a lot. And like she said, balancing homework and school is kind of a lot as well.
I would say the most valuable lesson I've learned is probably discipline as well. Just like the ability to focus for many hours on end. You're not really thinking about anything else besides dancing. You're not allowed to talk most times through the rehearsal. And you always have to be like on your game, like very conscious of everything going on around you. And I think that can carry into other aspects of my life and our lives.
Well, ballet has benefited me by like giving me time to get a lot of exercise in, give me time to build a lot of strength and everything, make friends.
As lead roles in the Nutcracker, we have been working on and rehearsing since July this summer, and we go about 4 or 5 times a week, sometimes even more, and rehearse for at least 3 hours a day. And as it gets close to the show, we rehearse like this week for 5 hours a day-ish.
Just some of the best memories that I've made throughout my life have been at Pioneer Valley Ballet and in the ballet studio. I've made some of my best friends that I'll have for life, and just the bonds that you create when you're dancing with other people is unlike any other, and it's really special. One thing I'll miss the most from being at PVB is just being able to go every day and being so close with all my teachers, and I'm going to miss my friends so much, and it is going to be so weird not going to the studio every day and not seeing everyone. It feels like my second home. I'm there like every day, and I'm really thankful for all the friends I've made and all the support my teachers have given me.
The Northampton Holiday Toy Exchange returned last weekend with a new location and new organizers. The event, which has been going on for almost a decade, took place at the high school this past Saturday. The event is sponsored by the Northampton Kiwanis Club and will be managed by the Environmental and Key Clubs.
Started about 10 years ago. Was part of the effort of the Reuse Committee, the Northampton Reuse Committee, which is an advisory committee to the DPW, Northampton DPW. And it was an attempt to, of course, always get stuff from out of the waste stream to have it recycled. And in this particular case, with Northampton High School doing it for the first time, it's kids recycling toys for other kids, which is much more appropriate.
The Key Club president and singer.
I'm one of the Environmental Club presidents.
And it's been a really great opportunity to be able to work on this project this year. This is the first time that the Key Club has been involved with this. David Starr, our advisor, has been really invested in the toy exchange for a long time, and he's the advisor of both of our groups, so it was a perfect opportunity to get involved.
The whole inspiration for this event was really so that people who didn't have items, gifts to give to their kids could come to this event, and people that had surplus stuff at home could come donate it. But it was the Reuse Committee who really took this event over as a solid waste reduction event. The idea is to reuse all of these items so that they don't end up in the landfill. So last night there were about 400 people that came and dropped off items that are on tables behind us that you see, and there will probably be about 250 people that will come today that will come take things and bring them home for their families.
The Northampton Toy Drive is also hoping to have more events such as tag sales, more toy drives throughout the spring. Make sure to stay tuned for more updates on their upcoming events. Thanks so much for watching. See you next week.
With the Supreme Court of the United States' review of the Dobbs v. Jackson women's health case, the fate of Roe v. Wade is once again in the national spotlight. The new case, which focuses on a 2018 Mississippi law banning abortion after 15 weeks of pregnancy, threatens to overturn the decades-old ruling due to the appointment of 3 conservative justices over Trump's 4-year term. If the court overturns Roe, access to abortions would be left up to the states and lead to drastic variations in abortion restrictions nationwide. With this important case looming over the Supreme Court, perceptions on political motivations have run deep. A Quinnipiac University poll last month found that 61% of Americans believe that the Supreme Court was mainly motivated by politics, while 32% said it was mainly motivated by the law. With this growing polarization in mind, we talked to NHS staff and students to get their opinions on the case and whether or not Roe influences their views on the Supreme Court and its interpretation of the law.
I think they're definitely more motivated by political gain, and they really aren't thinking about anyone other than themselves in a lot of instances.
I absolutely don't think it should be overturned. I mean, I think our state does a lot to, well, not our state specifically, but, I think the society we live in does a lot to take rights away from women, and I don't see why we should be, furthering that. I think it's really important that we keep whatever protection we have because we're already, progressively losing things.
I think that the legislatures need to take the helm here. I think that we need a federal law put together by the legislatures that ensure that women, that people who can become pregnant, that their autonomy is protected and that they have equal rights under the law. 3 justices were confirmed during Trump's presidency, and he made it abundantly clear that this was for politics. I think that what's happened with the court, however, it almost doesn't matter what they're thinking. What matters is that I think most Americans see this as a political court. To know that my students, my daughter, could be forced to give birth against their will is nothing short of it's beyond alarming, and we need to make sure that this doesn't happen.
As of now, the fate of Roe v. Wade is still left to be determined. If overturned, the country will likely see protests similar to the 2017 Women's March. Thanks for watching. See you next week.
Welcome to Cheap Thrills. This week we're at Poke Bowl in East Hampton, a family-owned restaurant serving traditional Hawaiian food and boba. This week we went to try their endless options of bowls and teas to see what's up.
Poke is a Hawaiian-style food fit to your taste. Poke East Hampton serves customizable bowls filled with rice, vegetables, and your choice of protein. When asked about their food and business, owner Sunya Palente said, "Smaller locally owned restaurants have more character than a bigger franchise. Plus, the food is more unique and has more care put into it than a chain restaurant."
So we just finished our food at Poke, and what I have to say is when you first walk in, there's a really modern vibe and aesthetic to the restaurant. And then when you go up, it's more of a build your own style, so you're not just looking at a menu and kind of having to guess what you're getting if you've never tried it before. You can see all the ingredients. And from there, the ingredients are super fresh, it's made right in front of you. And when you're eating it, it's not like you're feeling like you're getting fuller and fuller, it feels like you're more and more satisfied, the food is very filling and you're not bloated afterwards. Overall, I would highly recommend as a cheap thrill.